Good evening, Belize, and welcome to XTV's news broadcast for Thursday, February 20, 2025. Making the headlines tonight, a man acquitted of 15-year-old Dwayne Gabriel's 2021 murder. TPUDP launches slate of 15 for March 12 elections. Ministry of Transport begins distribution of license plates and stickers. And investigation into death of young Gabriel Oriano almost complete. We take our first break and return with the news in detail.
February is
Welcome back with your news. I am Drea Espinosa. There was much consternation when 15-year-old third form SJC student Dwayne Gabriel was killed in 2021. The very promising student was critically wounded while making a purchase for his mother at the corner of New Road and Pickstock Street in Belize City on the evening of September 25. He died 2 days later. Gabriel was not gang affiliated and was shot by an assailant dressed in red who arrived at the location on a motorcycle. The suspect was caught on surveillance footage, but after the conclusion of the trial, High Court Justice Derek Sylvester determined that there was no case for him to answer. In his judgment delivered today, Justice Sylvester ruled that the video footage and circumstantial evidence that the prosecution relied on was insufficient for a conviction. As such, the case against alleged shooter Dane Khalil Gillett was dismissed. He was on remand for 3 years and 5 months. The prosecution was led by Director of Public Prosecutions Cheryl Lynn Vidal. The Tracy Panton UDP today launched a slate of 15 candidates for the March 12 general elections and notified that its manifesto will come later. For Belize City, the TPUDP has fielded candidates for 5 of 10 divisions. They are Tracy Panton for Albert, Patrick Faber for Cullet, Cecil Jenkins for Lake Eye, Philip Willoughby for Port Loyola, and Godwin Haylock for Queen Square. For Belize Rural Central, there is Beverly Williams, and for Belize Rural South, there is Manuel Heredia, but no candidate has been presented for Belize Rural North. In the 6th Division in the Cayo District, the TPUDP is fielding June Young for Cayo South and John Saldivar for Belmopan. In the 4 divisions of Corozal, it has presented Hernan Riverol for Corozal Bay. Down south for the 4 divisions in Toledo and Stan Creek, it has only presented Ivan Williams in Stan Creek West. In Orange Walk's 4 divisions, Denny Gravala is returning for Orange Walk Central, while Marlo Pereira is running in Orange Walk East. Interim UDP leader Tracy Panton reiterated today that they have not presented candidates in the other divisions where UDP standard bearers were duly selected based on the party constitution. As such, she noted that the UDP will have a full slate of 31 candidates, and she added that those who are not on her slate are welcome to the fold after the elections.
We are running as one united Democratic Party. And that is why I said in my introduction that I welcome my colleagues who are not here, and I want them to be assured that they have a place in the United Democratic Party under my leadership. We have made no attempts to put other candidates to destabilize our duly elected and duly endorsed candidates in the 31 constituencies of the United Democratic Party, with exception of mess up. And I want to be absolutely clear with this, because I don't want the waters to be muddied. The delegates of MESUP, the executive committee of MESUP, came to me as the interim party leader following the 20th October convention that we held at the Civic Center. And they made it absolutely clear to me and to our chairlady, who was present with me at that meeting, that they needed a new standard bearer. Not only that they needed one, they named one in Lee Mark Chang. We understand that the price of inaction to dictatorship, the price of inaction as it relates to dictatorship, the price of inaction as it relates to injustice is too great a price for us to pay. We must stand up at all costs for the things that have remained foundational, fundamental to what our great United Democratic Party stands for. And so I am extremely pleased that I have the distinct honor and the privilege to introduce now to you members of the media or media partners and to our wider Belizean community, both here at home and abroad, the candidates running for the United Democratic Party.
We asked how they expect the leadership question of the UDP will unravel if the UDP does not win the next elections.
There is no way that Shine Jamal Barrow is going to win his seat in Meso. The people of Meso, and I say I bet on the people every time, will make that determination for the rest of us.
But even more so, there's no way that you will lose your seat.
Oh, me? In Albert? You think I have a chance of losing my seat in Albert? Marisol, I invite you to come with me and my team on the campaign trail, right? Tracy for Albert again.
We also asked about the TP-UDP having the necessary funding for the election day machinery to win. Collett's Patrick Faber said they have more than the other side, while Panton says they have enough.
Is there... The question is, Marisol, is there ever enough? Is there ever enough? The demands are great. People have seen election period as it's a time for feasts. It's feast or famine. I will say that we will have the resources we need, both in cash and resources, to run a successful campaign and to win the election on March 12, 2025.
Have you done, and I'm not sure how you're going to answer this one, but have you done an assessment of those 31 candidates who are winnable to get the required 16 seats?
We have.
So you believe that you will get the 16?
We have a path to 16 seats.
The Moses Shine Barrow UDP has not yet announced its slate. The Ministry of Transport has announced that a stock of license plates and license stickers to last 6 months has been secured and distribution started today. A total of 40,000 license plate stickers and 10,000 license plates were obtained. Distribution fairs are being held according to a schedule. They started out today in Belmopan, Spanish Lookout, and Santa Elena. On Friday, the team will be in Belize City. On Monday, they travel to Corozal and Orange Walk. And on Tuesday, they will cover Dangriga, Independence, and Punta Gorda. Distribution is being done first for those who have already paid for the plates or stickers. However, the ministry assures they will have enough for new applicants and will also ensure there is no shortage in future. Customers are asked to visit their respective district offices on the dates scheduled. Minister of Transport, Honorable Rodwell Ferguson, was present for the fair in Belmopan.
I know there was a dilemma over the last year that we not had enough production of license plates, and the nation cries out to us as the Ministry responsible for transportation, and I always say as the minister, the buck stopped with me. Even though there might be glitches within the system, I have to be the one that take up the responsibility. And so over the last month and a half, the CEO and myself sat down, Mr. Valentino Shell, and so we must can devise a plan to cut out this once and for all. And so we order a huge amount of license plates for every district, and this should last we at least 6 months. What we did now, we put on minimum stock or maximum stock in place. So if you reach 100 for argument's sake, that means it's time for you to re-order after 100. So there should be no more problem with license plates across the country, I believe. And in the new budget, we already asked the Ministry of Finance to increase the budget for license plates. So there should be no issue, there should be no complaint from the Belizean people henceforth.
The investigation into the death of 5-year-old Gabriel Oriano, who drowned over 2 weeks ago after escaping from his school, Stella Maris in Belize City, is almost complete. His tragic death resonated across the nation, touching many lives, and they await the result of the investigation. Minister of Education Honorable Francis Fonseca said the internal report will be made public once it's completed.
I think the report is almost complete. I think the ministry, either today or tomorrow, is having a meeting with the Belize Police Department so that we can then finalize our own report. So that's where it is. So I expect that perhaps sometime next week we will have a final report. Of course, we have committed to meeting with the family first. We want to meet with the family, share that report with the family first, discuss it with them, address any concerns and questions that they have regarding that report. Again, it's an internal report. But as I promised and committed, after we've done that and we've responded to their questions, we'll be very happy to share that report with the public.
After the break, changes coming to Stella Maris this year, says Minister. Stay with us. Today, the Minister of Education, Honorable Francis Fonseca, gave the media an update on the intended upgrades to Stella Maris School in Belize City. Fonseca said that the bids are out and that actual works are expected to begin towards the fourth quarter of 2025.
Yeah, I think the bids are out. I think I saw them publicized, so the bids are out. As I said, it's something we've been working on for 2 years. So I think the bids are out, and I think there's a 2-month period for that process to be completed, that bidding process. So I think thereafter you probably have another 2 months or 3 months for everything to be prepared. So I think probably the latter quarter of this year is when you're likely to see work start.
Fonseca also revealed that the principal of Stella Maris, Francilia Cantun, will be retiring in April of this year. Following the death of 5-year-old Gabriel Oriano, some had been unhappy with her leadership. However, Fonseca said that it is now a moot point.
Principal Cantun, has a long history in special education. She came from Orange Walk, where she was serving, at a special education institution. So she came highly recommended. But of course, we're reviewing everything. In fact, the truth is that she will retire very shortly. I think she retires at the end of April, actually. So in a sense, it's a moot question because we will have to find new leadership for Stella Maris.
Where are we looking at this point? Because April is right around the corner.
Yeah. No, we have the team at the Ministry of Education, the CEO and the Chief Education Officer are preparing for that and looking into that. That's something we'll deal with. I think perhaps late in March we'll be in a position to name a successor because I think she goes on holiday a few weeks early.
The majority of Central American nations have agreed to accept flights from the U.S. filled with migrants of nationalities other than their own. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Honorable Francis Fonseca, was asked again if Belize would accept such flights. Fonseca clarified that Belize has not yet been asked to do so and explained what would happen should the U.S. request such an agreement.
We have had discussions with the Charge d'Affaires here. No such request has been made of Belize as yet. But
If it is made,
if it is made, then it's something we will have to see the details of that proposal. We have said to them, it is something that we would have to take to the cabinet, and the cabinet will ultimately make that decision depending on the details of that specific proposal.
The 48th CARICOM Heads of Agreement meeting is currently taking place in Barbados. Of note is that no Belizean representative is present at the meeting. Today, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Honorable Francis Fonseca, clarified that Belize is participating virtually.
We're participating virtually. As other countries are, we're participating virtually. Ambassador Lawrence, CEO Mai, Ambassador Mai have participated in everything. The only thing we won't be able to participate in is the closed meeting of the, what they call the kind of summit, which is really a few hours where the leaders are alone, completely alone. Not even the foreign ministers are in that meeting. But we're participating in everything else virtually. Other countries are doing the same, a few other countries. So, of course not. We have not stopped that at all. Everybody knows that we're in election, we have an election. And over the years, we've been to meetings where other countries have had elections and their leaders have not participated because everybody understands that you have to be on the ground. No, absolutely. Belize is firmly committed to the work of CARICOM. We are strong, effective members of that group, and we have great respect for that CARICOM grouping.
A Jamaican attorney who was called to the Belize bar on February 7, 2025 to serve as a magistrate in the Punta Gorda Magistrate Court was assaulted during a hearing earlier this week. Magistrate Sashana Jody Ann Thompson was in session when an accused who, according to reports, may be suffering from a mental health condition tried to use an electric fan to attack the magistrate. Police in the courtroom quickly rushed to subdue him. During the scuffle, it is reported that a police officer was struck. As a result of the incident, all court cases for Wednesday were adjourned until further notice. After the break, can Philip Willoughby win in Port with Boots return and a Shine candidate? Stay tuned.
The Social Security Board, in collaboration with
Discounts on Honda products throughout the month of February, only at Benquip Equipment Parts Service.
Having retired from politics in 2018, Anthony Boots Martinez is throwing his hat back in the ring in Port Loyola, and he says he is running as a UDP candidate, but he is not on the Tracy Panton slate nor on the Moses Shine Barrow slate. His candidacy is making for an interesting twist, as it means there will be 3 candidates claiming to represent the UDP in that division. We caught up with Martinez campaigning on Wednesday and asked if he is taking advantage of the chaos in the UDP. He told us that his record speaks for itself and he is certain of a win again.
I've always been hitting the ground for a period of time, even in retirement, then people are my friend. So that's not just like I dip on the ground, no.
But what can you offer them in retirement?
What can I offer them in retirement? That they make I get pension. So sometimes I come out and share the love, even in retirement. I don't know, I am a community man. I am grateful for the people of Port Loyola, and I've always been grateful. You know, even when I die, because of the people of Port Loyola, for my dead backs are free. For the thing we are singing at church with are free. BDF have to back me, and thanks to the people of Port Loyola.
But some would have said that you'd take advantage of the chaos in the UDP right now for run, because they don't even know if they call you independent, UDP still.
They could call me the best representative Port Loyola I've ever seen. 4-time champion and beat the current representative 2 times in a row. So the work speaks for itself. My intention is to strike him out on behalf of the people of Port Loyola. They do nothing. Nothing, they do nothing. They take away the pantry from the people. They take away the booze from the people. They don't do nothing. The infrastructure, they're not even as much as maintain it, you know, and I, am a creature of instruction. You see, Wilton Camabatch Field there was done under my leadership. Caesar Ridge Road was done under me. The only part of it, they not even maintain it.
So, with 3 UDP candidates, because that's what I call, you know, don't you expect the votes will be split up and all of you will lose?
Either B-O-O-T-S. Either boats. Don't tell me about no you. Either B-O-O-T-S, and for the record, either the longest acting serving member in the entire party, not only in the Port Loyola, in the entire party. I participated in a 7 out of 8 election. I won 7.
Martinez even boasted that a son of the current area representative says he, Martinez, is the better area representative. He also told us he has proven that he can still deliver for his people, even with a different central government. Today at her press conference to present 15 candidates for the election, Panton spoke about Martinez's bid.
Boots is a friend. Boots is a former colleague. Boots has always aligned himself with the United Democratic Party. And Boots has run for multiple constituencies on behalf of the United Democratic Party. I will say this. I will say this. And I want it to be clear. Whatever happens in Port Loyola, whichever UDP candidate emerges as the winner, and when I say UDP candidate, we only have one, but any UDP associated person, we will embrace them and we will welcome them back to the party. But I believe that Philip has the wherewithal to deliver the seat for Port.
The 2 factions of the UDP seem to have differing views about the fact that the Elections and Boundaries Commission voted by majority that they will both be allowed to use the color red, but they will need to use symbols to differentiate each other. Commissioner of the Elections and Boundaries Commission, Orlando Espat, told the media about the vote.
one of the things that I want to tell you is that the political parties have representation in the commission. In this case, and you know the process. The advice comes from the Prime Minister, three, and then the leader of the the leader of the opposition recommends two. So they have two persons in there. So we don't act arbitrarily. We do consult with them. It is the position of both sides now. The UDP, and I don't know if I should call them UDP 1 or 2 because I don't want to get into their politics. We are the commission and we have to act as such. But they have decided that both of them want the red. The problem is, as you normally say, you said just now, it can cause confusion. So the best thing, and we adopted, okay, let's put a symbol in it. And inside of the commission, they agreed that they are going back to their leaders, and they will come back to us next week and say, okay, this is the symbol that we want, and we're going to adopt it.
So now will there need to be a very rampant, extreme, intensive voter education between now and election day to make sure that as much voters as possible understand what's happening?
It is the duty of the political parties to educate people too. It's not only the duty of the Elections and Boundaries Commission and the department. Both department and political parties have a responsibility to educate their voters.
Late last year, Dr. Omar Figueroa, the UDP standard bearer for Cayo North, pursued electoral challenges of the registration of over 100 voters by the opposing camp of Michelle Shabat. According to Figueroa, some 124 people should not be on the voters list, but they remain on it. On Wednesday, one commissioner of the Elections and Boundaries Commission, Orlando Espat, clarified why those persons are still on the voters list.
Well, just remember, it's an appeal. So if you go to court and the magistrates or the magistrate or the high court, whatever, and they will tell you that they find you guilty and they will sentence you, but your attorney immediately launches an appeal, there's nothing you can do until the Court of Appeal listens to it, and they will make the final decision. In this case here, I think it was the PUP side that said, we're going to appeal the decision of the court here, of the magistrate. That happened in San Ignacio. And immediately they appealed. This is before the High Court. And that's the reason that we don't even want to comment on it, because we cannot remove any elector and disenfranchise them from the voters list without the authority of the High Court and saying, you got to remove them. If they say remove them, the department has to do it. If they say keep them, it is the same, we keep them.
So for now, going into this election, those names will remain in the absence of a High Court ruling or appeal ruling?
As long as the court does not give a ruling, these people cannot be taken from that list.
In other news, oftentimes due to shame, fear of judgment, or even blaming themselves, victims of sexual violence choose to not report incidents to police. Commissioner of Police Chester Williams has many times expressed to the media the difficulty in getting victims to report such crimes. Without reporting these cases, the victim may not receive proper mental health care to recover from the trauma. However, therapist Renee Wentz explained that sometimes they also need physical medical care, as they can also contract sexually transmitted infections or become pregnant as a result.
It could always be a result of a sexual assault, certainly. And if you don't report, if you're not going to report to authorities, oftentimes you're also not going to go and get the medical treatment that is necessary, because if it's a minor, they're going to be afraid, because if they go for medical treatment, automatically the medical professionals are going to have to report. And adults might be ashamed to go for treatment too, because they might think, excuse me, they might think that someone will encourage them to make a report as well. And so it's, if you don't go and get the treatment, that always heightens the risk of having something else happen.
On a lighter note, a new art exhibit was launched this morning at the Museum of Belizean Art in Belize City. What sets this exhibit apart is that the art featured are all forms of handmade creations by Belizeans from all districts in the country. Many beautiful, delicate pieces were on display, including cultural masks, furniture pieces with intricate designs, traditional utensils, instruments, unique fashion pieces, and much more. Minister of Culture, Honorable Francis Fonseca, praised the exhibit, the organizers, and especially the artists, but stressed that one of the ministry's goals is to help artists to be able to make a living off their work.
No, absolutely fantastic project. Exciting initiative by Niche. We pay tribute to the artists, the artisans who are really behind this development project. As I pointed out, it's a project that really has three objectives. One, we want to document who the artisans are in Belize. So we want an accurate database of artisans in Belize. We want to work with them on marketability. How can we, all this creativity, how can we help them to promote that, to market that? And then, of course, as I pointed out, at the end of the day, we really want to make sure that our creative people can make a living from their creativity. And so the export market, how can we work with them to provide opportunities for their products to gain access to export markets? So culture is my business is a key initiative that we have focused on here at Niche over the past few years because we understand that so many of our artists, they're creative people, but they need support in terms of marketing their products, in terms of establishing their businesses, creating a business model, and ultimately making a profit so that they can provide for their families and support their communities. So all in all, it's a fantastic initiative, and I pay full tribute to, Gilvano, Swayze, Yasser Musa, the entire team at ICA, Kim Vasquez, the artisans who are from every district, from so many different communities across the country, coming together to make this a reality.
Belizean designer and leather craftsman Emilio Pereira was one of the artists who had a piece displayed at the exhibit. He said he was honored to have been chosen and explained the story behind his leather handbag.
Oh, that was difficult, but so I had to put it to the team here to choose for me, and then after that I just elaborated the piece and put a little extra art to it. The one we did was an orange bag for more impact, and then we did some Jippy Japa details on it. We try to tell a story, so with our pieces, the more hands that go into the product, the better for us. So in that piece, we have 5 different artisans that worked on the bag. So we have the leather, we have the Jippy Japa, we have the wood, and the story of this bag is the wood. So we want to display the hardwoods of Belize. So in this collection, we offer 6 different hardwoods, so the customer, the client could come and choose which hardwood they want with the color of the bag. And also that tells a story of the carpenter who has 25 plus years of working with wood and is just telling her story and continuing his work as well.
And if anyone would like to buy a bag like this, or maybe a little bit different, how can they get in touch with you?
You could contact us on our Instagram or on our Facebook, and then from there we start the dialogue, and everything is made to order, it's made for you, so contacting us would allow us to start communication for your piece. And our Instagram is emilio.pereira, and Facebook as well.
And therapist Renee Wentz has been living in Belize since 2002, and in 2013 she became a naturalized Belizean. She jokes that she's now more Belizean than American. However, as is occurring in many countries around the world, she too, as a born U.S. citizen, has been feeling the effects of the backlash to Donald Trump's victory. Wentz said that not all Americans are in support of what the U.S. government is currently doing.
I've stopped commenting as much as I used to, but when I make comments now, and this is, again, just since Donald Trump was inaugurated, which was the 20th of January, I've had at least 3 times been told to go back to the United States and I should be deported and all kinds of things, even though, yes, I've been naturalized since 2013 and I've been living in the country since 2002. So I've been here a long time. I'm more Belizean than I am American at this point. I don't plan on ever moving back to the United States, and yeah, it's been very disheartening because before then I was very rarely told to get out of here and go back to the States. When you travel, there's always been a dislike of Americans because in general, a lot of Americans don't behave well when they travel. But if you behave well, people usually will get to know you and they will let you speak on your own behalf. But now people are reacting as if everybody that's American are supporting the things that the American government is doing, and not everybody does. So I would just hope that we all can just treat each other as individuals and know that lots of us don't support what the American government is doing.
And with that, we have come to the end of our newscast. A repeat can be viewed on the station later tonight at 9 and again tomorrow at midday. Join us again tomorrow for another news broadcast. I am Drea Espinosa. Have a safe and enjoyable evening.